The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everybody, this is Rob Cosgrove. I'm the CEO of Remote Backup Systems. I'm going to be telling you about, today we're going to be talking about how you can customize and brand the RBackup software. Let's see. Now, a little housekeeping. If you want to ask me a question or you want more clarification on something, use your user console to type in a question. And if we haven't already gotten to it, I'll get to it vocally. I won't type back at you. Feel free to ask questions anytime you want, and as soon as I get a break, I'll be able to answer it for you. If you'd like to phone here later, I'll give you our telephone number now so you can write it down. It's 901-388-5988. Today's topic is customizing the client software to make it look like your own. First thing I'm going to do is show you what it looks like when it comes right out of the package. So let me start up the software, and all right, this is the, well, that was the splash screen. It's very quick. There it is back there. The splash screen stays on for about 10 seconds, and it displays a graphic that has your company name on it and your company logo and whatever you want to put on there. That's a simple BMP file, and let me show you that file. Okay, here we go. This file is called rbsplash.bmp, and there it is. It's a simple graphics file that you can edit with any graphics editor that's capable of editing a BMP file. Now the file that all of these files that what we're going to do when we customize the RBackup client software is we're going to edit some files that are on the hard drive in the server's client folder. So here's the typical place. Usually this RBS server is installed in the program files RBS server folder, and then inside there is a client folder, and in the client folder are all of these files, some of which are modifiable and some of them aren't. That is the splash screen. That's modifiable. I'll show you the about screen. The about screen comes up like that. The about screen comes up when you click Help and About. You'll want to put your phone number here, your own graphic, your own logo. This is what there are two interfaces to the RBackup software. We're going to look at the advanced interface today. And there's, I'll show you around the screen so you can see what you can edit. This part of the screen at the upper top here is called the caption. You can change this graphic that's in the caption. You can also change this text that says Remote Backup right now. Let's see, what else on this screen? Any of the other screens that have a caption that display a graphic, you can change. Let's see, here's here's the auto select filter screen. That doesn't have a graphic on it. Any caption with a graphic. Now, way down here in the lower right, the system tray graphic can also be changed. And down here at the bottom of the screen, this icon, this graphic that's on the tab, can be changed as well. Also, let's see, the add remove programs stuff can be changed. I'll show you that. Currently, the program installs as it comes from the packaging. It installs as Remote Backup right here. In the Add Remove Programs, you can change this icon. You can also change the name of the program from Remote Backup to something else, like Jim's Backup. Click here for support information. Here, you can also change this information. You can change the support info from our name to yours, and all of this information as well. You can change the default location where the software is installed. You can change an awful lot of stuff. I think it's best if I go ahead and begin the customization process. I wanted to show you what the default software looks like. I'm going to uninstall this, and then I'm going to customize it, and I'm going to reinstall it with the new customized features. So let me go ahead and uninstall it right now. Again, if there are any questions, just type them into your user console there where it says questions, and I can answer you while I'm waiting for the computer to do some things. We're uninstalling the software. Okay, that's uninstalled. All right. There are several places where you can edit files that are necessary to modify the way the software looks. Now you can also modify the way it acts too, and I'm going to show you that. Pick Tools and Customize Client Installer from the RBS Manager software. Okay. I'm gonna restart this. Okay. Well, I've used this computer so much for doing programming. I think I've got a botched installation here, but let's try this again. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna try something else here. Okay, I've had to call Gautam in here to have a look at this. Gautam, I've tried to click the Customize Client Installer, and I can't get it to turn off so that I can restart it. Yeah. Yes. People, give me just a second. We use this computer for development installers, and often I make a change to the programming on the installer and then botch it somehow, and it never gets out to the public, but it's just it messes with this computer. Okay, thanks, Gautam. All right, this is Customized Client Installer. There are several tabs here. The first tab is Basic Settings, and that's the most important. You'll have to do this regardless of whether this particular Basic tab, you'll have to do this tab regardless of whether you want to change the look and feel of the software. The port number, the RBS server's address, currently I've got it set to the local address because we're running the server on the same computer that we're running the client, so that we can see both sides of it on the screen here. This is the override password. Many of these things aren't really necessary for you to customize the software, the look and feel of it. Now, this is where you set your default backup sets. We've been through this so many times in previous webinars. If anybody wants to see this, then chime in and tell me. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to the look and feel, editing the look and feel of the software, that is branding and customization. The Change Text tab is where you can change the company name. So if you've got, it ships by default as Remote Backup. The company name, we can change that to, well, let's see which one we're going to use when we edit this. I've got some, let's see. Now, we do work for some people. We customize their software when they're going to use our virtual hosting system. And I've just selected one at random for a company that we've already done some customization for, and it's this one. So I'm going to use customize the software using these graphics. So that's the new company name. If we wanted to have a menu caption, suppose we wanted to add a new menu option, this is where we would do that. The caption will be called company website, and let's make it go here. And then we've got another custom menu caption. We can call this support. A submenu, this would be online help. Support Central. And maybe contact us. I think that's a good link. So what this will do is this will give me a new submenu on the help screen, help menu, and this will give me a brand new upper level menu that has 3 options on it. Now, if you want to include your own user license, you can pick yes, and yeah, let's create one. Why not? And this is where you can include your user license. By default, when you install the client software, it has to display the Remote Backup System's user license. Just after it does that, it displays your user license if you typed one in here. Now, the remote backup systems software license agreement doesn't say remote backup systems on it until way down in the, I think it's the last paragraph, which people rarely read to. Okay, let's pick the next one, which is client locks. This is one of the ways that you can make the software act differently. Normally, the software, client software is shipped with all options on. However, some service providers want to disable some of the options in the software so they can create different versions of the software for different uses. For example, a service provider might have 3 levels of service. One of them will cost $4.95 a month, and it'll back up only the things that are in the My Documents folder, and it'll back up only once a week. In that case, you'd want to pre-select the folders that you want to back up and then lock everything. For example, you'd want to lock the ability to change that schedule from once a week or once a day or however you set it up. You'd want to lock the ability to add and change file selections or turn off the new backup set option. You may want to lock the entire file menu. You certainly want to lock auto select. You don't want to select, you want them to be able to restore, so leave both of those. Probably want to turn off the Run Now option, and any of these options. Any of these options that you check mark turns off this feature so it becomes unavailable to your clients. For purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to leave everything open just in case somebody has questions about something. Here's where we change the display. Now, this is where you change the icons and the splash screens. We're going to replace these splash screens. So first, let's have a look at it. This is what it currently looks like. And let's change it now. So I'm going to select the file that I want. I've got them in this folder here. That's the splash screen. Now let's change the About screen. Okay. Now let's change all of the other icons in the software. So the way you do that is you click here, and you find an icon that you want to replace. Let's replace this. Let's replace this. And let's replace this. Now you want to replace the EXE icons. And let me show you what I mean by the EXE icons. Windows, all EXE files inside in Windows contain icons that are inside the executable files, and they show up in Windows Explorer. Here's one, and this is taken from inside the EXE file. So what we want to do now is change the icon that's embedded in that file so that when your users use Windows Explorer, it shows up your icon instead of ours. So let's select the EXE file that we want to back up, that we want to change. That would be this one. And let's change the icon file. Let's see, I'm not sure which one of these is 16 by 16. It'll tell me if it's incorrect. Okay, that's incorrect. Let me pick another one. Number 3, change. Okay, that's incorrect too. Number 4, that's incorrect. Okay, that one's correct. Okay, now let's get another one. Let's change the icon in RB Client. Let's use the same one. Okay. And we may want to change the RB Update as well. Okay. Let's look at backup settings. There's really nothing in, well, yeah, sure, this is something that you might want to change. You can hide the backup progress screen during scheduled backups by clicking here. Otherwise, the software normally displays a backup progress screen. If you want the software to operate in stealth mode, which is fully silent, you can click this right here. Now, many people want that because the software, the client software for RBackup, has the ability to be launched from an external program with command line parameters that tell it what to do. People use that to more or less embed our functionality into their own software. So they can have an option on their screen that says do a remote backup now, and they just call rbclient.exe with parameters, and those parameters tell it which how to back up and which backup set to do. These are the advanced settings. During installation, the RBackup installer can ask if you want to install it as a service. If you say yes here, then it prompts and it installs as a service. And here it let's see. You say no. Oh no, I'm sorry. If you say yes, then the installer will not prompt and it installs in services mode. If you say no, the installer will not prompt the user and it installs in application mode. If you say ask, then it asks the user whether he wants to install as a service or not. And I'll show you in a few minutes how you can change the verbiage for this box that pops up when it asks the user. For the Open Files agent, it's the same thing. If you click Ask here, then the installer will prompt the user. It'll ask, do you want to install the Open Files agent? Otherwise, if you say no, it will not install the Open Files agent. And if you say yes, it'll always install the Open Files agent. I clicked Apply to apply all these changes we've just made, and it has now done so. Donald wants to know about purge and retention settings, so I'm going to show you that right now. This is where you set the default purge and retention settings for your client software. The purge and retention settings are here, and they are you can purge files by days, or you can purge files by number of backup sets. So, an example: most people purge by days. So let me just set this to something like 30 days. All right. And turn that off. Okay. If we do this, then the client software is going to back up files for 30 days. After the files are 30 days old, it will purge the files from the server. If you click this, it'll keep the latest version of files if it only has one left. So an example would be within a 30-day period, suppose a user uses a file 10 times. At the end of 30 days, those files will start to be deleted one by one until there's only one left. With this option checkmarked, that one file will not be purged because it's the only file that's left. The way the software ships is with this option on, and we suggest that you leave that on. These are compression levels. Usually just leave this where it is. You can also have the software back up and log off, and back up and shut down. If you want to have it log off the current user after a backup, you can do that. If you want to have it back up and shut down, it'll do that too. Okay. Now there's any questions about any of this so far? Because I'm going to move on now to other ways that you can change the behavior and the look and feel of the software. Okay, let me get my little helper menu up here. Okay. The first file we're going to have a look at is clsetup.ini. In the client installations folder, that is RBS server/client, there are a number of files, INI files mostly, and one REG file that you can edit to have the software do different things. there is no interface for these, so you'll use Notepad to do it. And here's how you do it. You open up this file with Notepad, and this is where you change the product name. This is the name of your customized software. For example, in this case, it's, what did I call this software? Let me see here. iGlobal, got it. Is there anybody from iGlobal here tonight? Okay, and the company name, you can change that to screen captions. Let's call this iGlobal Backup. And we can make the target directory. Usually it's remote backup, it's program files and remote backup. We're going to make this the target directory instead iGlobal Backup. And the folder name iGlobal Backup. When the client software installs, it makes a link to the documentation, and this is the name of the link. So you can call this iGlobal Backup documentation. The publisher, that's the name of the software publisher as it's displayed in the Add Remove Programs section. So we're going to change that to iGlobal Inc. And let's change the owner as well. Okay, and this is the URL that's listed in the same place. I'm not sure if that's their URL. This is the name of the user license file. I'm going to leave that as it is. Now, here are some features that you can change. These are all related to the installer. You can disable the startup shortcut, and that is the shortcut that's placed into the startup folder that enables the software to start up with Windows when it's running as an application. So if you want that to be disabled, you type yes, otherwise leave it at no. You can disable the desktop shortcut by typing yes here. The software, when it installs, displays a welcome screen. It's that common welcome screen that most everybody has seen with Install Shield, which we use to install this software. It usually says, "Welcome to the Install Shield Wizard" and then for the name of the software. If you want to disable that, you can type yes here. The destination screen is also pretty common in Install Shield installations. The destination screen is a screen that says select the destination folder for this software. It enables the user to change the destination. We're going to go ahead and leave that. It'll select iGlobal Backup by default. The shortcut command is the program that's executed by any of the shortcuts that start the client software. Normally, it's RBackup.exe. In some cases, you'll want to change that to RBclient.exe. You may also want to change that to a batch file or to another program that calls RBackup or RBclient. This is very advanced stuff. I suggest that we don't go into it deeply right now. And if you have some really advanced customization that you need to have done, call us and we'll talk to you about it. Likewise, the shortcut parameter, let's leave that at open, although you could change that to anything that the software can recognize on the command line. Likewise with RBackup.exe. You can sometimes when Install Shield installs the software, it recognizes whether it needs to be the computer needs to be rebooted or not at the end of the installation. Typically, the only reason that RBackup will need to be rebooted is if you decide to install the Open Files agent and it's being installed on Windows XP. So if you if you're going to use, I'll tell you the reason we put this in here. We put this in here for a customer who wanted documentation for the installation that didn't have any ifs in it at all. He didn't want to have to say if the software asks you to install to reboot the computer, then allow it to reboot the computer. This is a force reboot, so if you want to reboot the computer at the end of the installation, regardless of whether it really needs to or not, you can type yes here. Reboot text is normally empty. Let's leave it there. That's some hyper advanced stuff too. Test installer is for you to use. While you're doing all this work, you don't want to have to uninstall and reinstall and uninstall this, the software for real. So you'll want to change this to yes while you're doing all the work to all these files that we're talking about here. What this does is it runs the installers, and then just before it's about to install the software, it rolls everything back for you, start from beginning. So it makes it much, much quicker to make changes to all of this, all these files. In order to, while you're in a testing phase, programming the installer, you type yes here, and then be sure to change that to no before you deploy it. There are several screens in the installer. There's the welcome screen and the license screen, then there's the user license screen, then the destination screen, and then there's a screen that says finished. This is the text that goes on these screens. So you can change any of this stuff you want. You can change it to iGlobal Backup, and I'm going to do that right now. Okay. Okay, that's everything in the CL setup program, the CL setup file. This file controls the behavior of the installer for the client software. The second file we're going to have a look at is a registration file, an REG file. Now, the way this file works, this file is called RBackup.reg. And for those of you who are programmers, you can put more than what I'm just telling you about in this file. This file is a standard registry modification file, and it gets executed by the installer about halfway through installation. So if there are any registry settings that you want to change or add, you can add them to this file, and they'll be added, whether they're associated with RBackup or not. As you can see, a lot of the things that we've done over in this screen right here have made additions to the RBackup.reg file. In addition to those being done automatically, see all this stuff? You can also change them manually. Let me show you a few that aren't accessible through the user interface. For example, pause mode. This controls the display of the pause button on the file transfer progress screen. During the file transfer progress screen, you can include a pause button. If you want to include that pause button, then this will be true instead of false. This screen controls the availability of the Print Disaster Recovery menu choice under the Help menu. Normally, there is no way to reprint the disaster recovery info after the initial installation. On installation, well, you can turn this on and off as well, but on installation, there's normally a screen that pops up that says something to the effect of, you've changed features, would you like to, you've changed something, would you like to print your information? In addition to having that pop up automatically, you can also include a menu choice on the Help menu for that. If you want to do that, then change this from false to true. PF only controls the prompt that says your encryption key or other settings have been changed, and would you like to create an emergency key file? It's similar to the menu, but it creates a key file. If you want that to, let's see, setting this value to true will enable the prompt and leave the print disaster recovery info form enabled. And that can also be disabled independently using the PF menu function, this one right here. Auto update is set to false by default. Set that to true if you want the client auto update feature to come into play. Setting this to true will the client software will automatically check for a software update every time it's run. And when it checks for an update, it checks with your RBS server for that update. There is a separate setup file on your RBS server that's downloaded by the client software to tell it how the update function should behave. It can behave in a number of ways. One way is it can automatically update the client software without any interaction from the user at all, and that's the way that most people who use it set it up like. So that if you want to distribute a software upgrade to your clients, you simply post it on your server, and it gets sent out to all of your clients, and all of your clients are updated automatically. Let's see. I think that's all of interest on this screen. Any questions about this one? Now, I'm sure you can hear the paper rattling. I'm reading from printouts of the RBS server's help file. I'll show you where all this stuff is so you can go and look everything up yourself. It is, let's see. Well, the RBS server's help file is right here. And we've just been looking at customizing the client installer. So this is all the latest up-to-date info for everything we're talking about right now, and it's got some examples of some things that it changes. Let's have a look at the language file. The installer is multilingual, although the client software is not yet, will be. And here's how this works. When you want to change any of the text in the client's installer, you do it in the default.lng file. Edit it with Notepad. It works like this. If you want to change, how about this one? You want to change wherever the words supplemental service and license agreement show. If you want to change this to something else, you just change it in this file. This is a list of all the text that it's possible for the installer to display. You can change any of this that you want. Okay, let's see what's next. Any questions about that one? The next is the setup.ini file. This file is the very first file that gets run from anything. This file is loaded and runs before anything else is run, and it's pretty important. Okay, app name. This will be the name of your application, so we're going to call it RBackup. Be very careful about some of these things. When you do this, change only the things that you're supposed to change, and those are the things you're supposed to change are the app name, the small progress, and the command line. App name is the name of the application. Small progress is either Y or N for yes or no. If you set to Y, the small progress dialog is displayed by the installer while it's unpacking files. Otherwise, if you say no, then it's larger. CMD line can be a number of things. It can be silent. It can be hide progress, like it is here. Let me just tell you what these mean. Hide progress means suppress the initialization dialog. It suppresses the display of the initialization dialog. It just shows one fewer screen during installation. It's a screen that's not really necessary. If you use /S here, then it operates in silent mode. That is, the RBS software is silently installed without displaying any of the install shield dialogues. If you put F1, this specifies an alternative response file name and path. So if you, and it also runs in silent mode. The installer has the ability to record your responses to everything it asks you for. This is also very advanced stuff. I'm going to tell you what it is, and then I'm not going to explain it too much. If you have questions about it, you can give us a call. Let me make sure. Okay, I'm going to put that back on. If you put F1 here, you have to also put the path and file name to a file that the software is going to use to read responses to the installer. So it can answer things like yes and no. It can select OK or I agree to the license agreements, and a number of other things. The way to do that is to run the client installer with a parameter that records your keystrokes, and then when you deploy the software, you also deploy that keystroke recorded file with the /F1 option and the name of the keystroke file. And the installer will then run completely silently, and it's really kind of creepy. Okay. That's that. Any questions about that so far? Okay. The print cap INI program is the text at the top of the print key screen. It normally says, important, your encryption key information is displayed below. Please print this page or write down the key info and store it in a safe location. You can change that to be whatever you want. Okay. The client's help file. A lot of people have questions about this file. The client's help file, as it is, has remote backup on it because it's a generic name. Some people want to go through there and change the screenshots, because all the screenshots have our little circling icon there. When you buy the software from us, the server software contains a folder called Client Help File Source, and in there is the source code to the client's help file, and this is in RoboHelp format. You've got all of the pictures that are in the documentation. You've got all the text that's in the documentation. All of it is right here. If you have RoboHelp, you can edit it directly. Unfortunately, there's no other way to edit it. You're going to have RoboHelp. RoboHelp is available from Macromedia. I don't know how much it costs. RoboHelp is a help authoring program which integrates with Microsoft Word. So the way it works is you type your documentation in Microsoft Word, and on the right side and on the left side you've got the all kinds of macros that you can do. You can establish your chapter headings and your page breaks, your table of contents. You can define the look and feel of the final help system, and then when it comes time to generate the help files, you can generate them as web help format or Flash or HTML help, which is our primary, which is the way that we distribute it. That creates a CHM file. It can also create Java help, and if you click here, it creates printed documentation for you. This is pretty cool. Using Word, essentially, you can go through here and search and replace. For example, we could search and replace the help system to replace all phrases remote backup with iGlobal backup. And then we could also replace, if we wanted to snap new screenshots, we could replace these screenshots here with our own. Okay? All right, that's all about the customization. Now let's switch back over here and create the installers. I'm going to make an executable file name, self-extracting executable called iGlobal. I'm going to put it in, let's see, let's put it here in the downloads folder. No, let's put it right here in demo. And let's select an icon for it. 32 by 32, that's that one. Oops. Let's select a different one. Let's get that one. We could digitally sign this if you've got a. In order to make the software compatible with Windows Vista, as compatible as you possibly can, you'll want to digitally sign it. In order to do that, you have to buy a digital code signing certificate, Class 3, from VeriSign. Now, it's not necessary, but if you, and I'm not going to do it during this demo, but if it is the most professional way to distribute your software, and Windows Vista doesn't complain as much when you install it. All right, we click this to make the program, and here it is in the background. Good. Okay. Now let's close this, and close this, and close that, and that. And this is the exe file that we just created, and it's got iGlobal. It's got the iGlobal icon on it. So this is the one that you distribute to your clients. To install this software, we just double-click here, and if I've done everything right, it's going to work. Okay, good. See that it's changed. It's got iGlobal all over the place here. At least I did that right. Let's accept this. Again, it's got iGlobal here. Okay. And this is the supplemental license agreement, which we typed. This is not what you'd really want, but that's that. Okay, and the program files folder, it's going to install this in iGlobal Backup instead of Remote Backup. That's just fine. And let's go. And you can see that every place on here, it's talking about iGlobal instead of Remote Backup. There we go. Now it's running. Okay, so this is the splash screen that just went away. This is one of the opening screens. You see that we've changed, it says iGlobal everywhere. The icon that's on the desktop says iGlobal. Let's go ahead and do a new registration. This is the print key form that I told you about earlier, and you now know where you can change all of this and the behavior of this form entirely. And that looks like that. And you can see down here in the system tray that iGlobal Backup is running, and it's got the iGlobal little icon there. Let's open it up and have a look. Okay, and that's it. Are there any questions? Let's have a look at the simple interface to see what this looks like. Here's the simple interface. Now, I don't know how many people have seen this. RBackup comes with two interfaces. One of them, the advanced interface, which is the one that we just looked at, and this one, this new simple interface. The simple interface is a little bit more modern looking, and it's quite a bit simpler. And it's all branded as well. And we can switch back to the advanced interface. Daryl Fuller wants to know, oh sorry, no last names, wants to know how you can wipe the custom client database and start from scratch. I'll show you how to do that. Let me stop all of this software. There's an option for it in the Customize Client Installer screen. It's called Clear File Selections. So when you click this Clear File Selections, it will start out with a fresh database. Let's see, Peter wants to know, why am I running a version of the software that's more advanced than what he's got? It's because this one hasn't been released yet. This one's got a few updates. What you're seeing here is the next version of the software that you're going to see as a maintenance release probably in less than 2 weeks. Nothing major to report in this software in the new maintenance release. A couple of very small bugs that were fixed that were reported by some of our super users, and that's about all. Gosh, let's see. What else can I tell you about customization? Beware of the icons. The icons are tricky, and you need an icon editor to mess with those. Let's see, change the display. These icons, ICO files, have to be exactly what's shown over here. They have to be 32 by 32 pixels, or 16 by 16, or 32 by 32, whatever. Whatever it says here, they absolutely have to be exactly that size. And in order to do that, you can use an icon editor. Like I think one of the ones that we've used is called Icon Magic, and it's able to take a JPEG or a GIF file and convert it into an ICO file. Todd wants to know what happens to customizations when an update or newer version is installed. They're left there. So and here's the way we do that. If you've ever noticed the dates and times on the files that come by default with the RBackup software, the unmodified dates and times on these ICO files and the BMP files and the INI files are usually sometime back in the 1980s. And when we do an upgrade, we upgrade only files with newer dates. So if you modify a file like one of these ICO files or a BMP file, Windows is automatically going to update the date of that file to the current date. And when it's copied, our installer is going to check the dates and make sure it copies over only files that are older. Daryl says that IconFX is good, and I know that's true too. That's one of those that I've forgotten about. Is it IcoFX? I think it's IconFX. Maybe it's ICOFX. Charles wants to know if you can have backup sets that are customer specific. Charles, let's see how to do that. No, I don't think so. Well, sure you can, but I think you'll have to build a new installer for each customer if you want to do that. If you want the default icon set, the default backup set to be different for each specific user, then yeah, you are going to have to build an installer for each specific user. But I don't know of anybody who's doing that. Most people build maybe 3 or 4 installers, one for each plan type that they have, and they make those available that way. Any other questions? I'm out of questions. Again, everything that we've talked about today is in the server's help file, which you can print out and have a look at. I encourage you to try this out. Get in there and try it. It really makes your software look great. It makes it look like your own. It removes virtually everything about remote backup systems from the software and makes it your very own. We're the only company that allows you to do that for no charge. Even our evaluation version is able to do that. Now, I know most of the people who are logged in right now, and know that you are you're already existing service providers. So you've got the software that can do this. Make sure you've got the latest up-to-date version of the software. Some of the most recent changes to RBackup have been in the branding and customization utilities. Let's see. Jason's got a question here. Wants to know if there are any issues with updating or replacing unbranded clients that are already deployed with branded versions. No, that's the same answer as before. And Jason, what that is, if you've already deployed an unbranded version, then its icon files and BMP files are going to be dated sometime in the 1980s or 1990s, which means any changes, any updates that you make to it are going to overwrite those with your branded versions. The next maintenance release will probably be within a couple of weeks. There's nothing major, so we're not in a big rush to get it out to you. The current version that we have out is 10.6.1, I'm pretty sure, or 10.6.0, and it's got all the the one that's out right now has all the latest branding and customization features in it. We haven't made any changes to that since we released the most current one. Well, let's see if I've recorded. Yep, I have recorded this webinar. So I'm going to make this available on our website within about probably another couple of hours. It'll be up there. And if anybody has any questions about this, check the help file for the server and then enter a support case online or give us a call. And we'll be glad to answer any further questions you have about this. Also, if you've got any suggestions for anything that we could do to make the software better or to make our service to you better, please let us know that as well. Again, I'm Rob Cosgrove. This is Remote Backup Systems. We're 901-388-5988, and our website is remote-backup.com. Thanks, everybody.